This is the story of Mr. Scrooge, an elementary school teacher who has been working for over 60 years already. He's not known for being the joyful type. All of his students agree that he's just a grumpy old man, and some are even scared of him. One day, he was giving feedback to Tommy, one of his students, about the end of unit test.
Bad, Tommy. If you continue like this, you'll never be able to speak English.
I'm sorry, Teacher Scrooge, but I just got blocked during the exam. It's almost like my mind went completely blank. I swear, I can use the second conditional.
Bah, that's the oldest excuse in the book. Even my university students still use it to this day. If you did this badly in the exam, that means you can't do it. You have a 5 in the test, and your final grade is 6. Be thankful that you barely passed the course. Now leave. I'll be calling your parents to have a serious talk about your performance.
That night, as Scrooge was getting ready to go to bed, something weird happened.
Finally, I can get a little rest. At least I don't have to deal with ungrateful whippersnappers when I'm sleeping.
Hello, Mr. Scrooge. I bet you're in shock right now, but don't be afraid. I know what you're thinking. Is that a real ghost? Well, yes, I am.
This again? Wait, what do you mean again? Your friends already visited me a year ago. I already learned my lesson about Christmas spirit and whatnot. I don't need to go through it again. I'll be sure to visit my family these holidays. Now, shoo, you can go. Merry Christmas and all that.
Oh, I understand now. So you were visited by the Christmas division, huh?
Christmas division?
Yeah, they're in charge of trying to make people change their ideas about Christmas. But I'm from the English Teaching Assessment Division.
That's a very specific division.
You tell me, we have divisions for everything: romantic relationships, midlife crisis. Anyway, since you've been through this before, I don't think I have to explain how it works. But I'll do it anyways. You've been really unwise about how you grade your students in their English classes. So, we're going to see how you've been working in the past and the present, so you can avoid the future that awaits you.
I don't need to change my assessment methods. I don't believe in that alternative rubbish the youngsters are talking about.
That's what you think right now, Mr. Scrooge. But if you just give me the opportunity, I can help you see beyond your range of sight. You change your beliefs about Christmas, right? I'm sure you can also do it for your beliefs in assessment.
I guess you might be right. Fine, I'll play your little game again, but it better not be a waste of time.
Great! Then let us begin with the past, when you were a young, cheerful teacher with a lot of big ideas.
Oh, please, don't remind me of those years.
Here's the exam for the final evaluation of the course, Mr. Scrooge. Excuse me, sir, if I may. I was thinking we could do something different this time. Different? How? I've been thinking about this idea for a while, and I believe it could be really beneficial for the students. What if we do a stage play? A stage play? For an exam? Yeah, of course it wouldn't be just for the sake of doing one. We can include the functions that have been taught during the lesson in the script. I know it might take some time, but I'm afraid I have to cut you off there, Mr. Scrooge. I won't allow that idea. Huh? But why? This is a professional school for education, not some kind of after-class club where the students can have fun. Something that you need to know about this world is that learning is not fun, but it is a necessity to be educated. Besides, we don't have the time or resources to go with your crazy idea. Now, you just take the exams and apply them like normal. Very well, sir. Well, Mr. Scrooge, what happened there? It seems you haven't always been the grumpy old man who hates fun.
Everyone is like that on their young years, stupid and naive. Thanks to the principal, I realized the truth. A school is a place to get educated, not a circus.
Well, that may be true for other areas of knowledge, but language is a whole different beast. You can just tell that your students learn by making them fill out a paper. They need to demonstrate that they can actually use it.
I can tell that they've learned because they always fail the exams.
They don't know anything about how to speak English. Is that so? How about we pay a little visit to Tommy then? Tommy, I'm very disappointed. How could you get such a low grade on your test? You barely passed.
I'm sorry, Mom. I was really stressed during the exam and I didn't know what to do.
When you're an adult with three children and no other help at home, then you can talk about stress. Now go to your room and no video games for a week.
That's not fair. I was not the only one who failed the test. Nobody understood how to do it. And I can perfectly use conditionals. Ahem. If I had $1 million, I would buy a house. If I knew how to sing, I would be famous. See? I don't need a stupid exam to tell me how to do it.
It seems little Tom is actually able to use the second conditional. What do you think, Mr. Scrooge? Why did he fail that exam then? Well, for starters, he did explain to you that he had a mental block during the test. That could have been because of lack of preparation, as he didn't know how to answer the questions. Which makes me wonder, could I look at a copy of the test? Be my guest. They're in the desk over there. What? So, only three questions? That's it? Easy enough, don't you think? That's why I don't understand why almost everyone failed. They need to know this if they want to speak English. One thing is for sure though. At the very least, 90% of your students got question 3 right. Yeah, but not the other two. But wouldn't that mean they actually know how to use them? Maybe they couldn't explain it explicitly, but they were more than able to create examples. I understand where you're coming from. Students do need to know how to form them and what they're for. But is it going to be useful for them to explain how to do it? Well, I don't plan changing my assessment methods anytime soon. They have always worked for me and always will. I'm not so sure about that, Mr. Scrooge. Because, you see, even if those methods once worked in the past, the English teaching environment is always changing, and new methods are being used over the old ones. And those who stay behind, well, why don't I show you? Well, Mr. Principal, how will the procedures go from here? Can I start working with you? I'm so sorry, Mr. Scrooge, but I'm afraid you don't meet the requirements for teaching in our institution. But why? I have over 60 years of experience on my field. 60 years of experience or 60 years doing the same thing? What do you mean by that? Listen, here in our institution, we like to use modern techniques for assessment. Every school does it now, but that's not the only reason. We use them because they actually make students learn, not to only jump into a bandwagon, you get me? I'm sorry, but I can't have you working here. I understand. Is that really gonna happen? I'm gonna lose my job? Well, at least it's not as bad as dying alone because no one loved you. I'm sorry. Seems I've crossed the line there. Now, I want you to understand that not because you're an old dog, it doesn't mean that you can't learn new tricks. Why don't you try changing your assessment method for the next unit? I'll consider it. Well, at least that's a start. Hopefully you will do the right thing. It's my time to go now. And I hope I don't have to come again to lecture you. Yeah, now shoo, let me sleep. Good night, Mr. Scrooge. The time came for Mr. Scrooge to do once again a test for the end of the unit. But this time, things went a bit differently. Alright, class, for this end of unit, we're gonna be doing things a little bit differently. During this unit, we have learned the passive voice, and while normally I will make you do an exam, I thought we could make things more fun. So, the final assignment is actually going to be a group work, and by that, I mean the entire class will be a single group. Now don't you worry, everybody will be graded individually, so if someone else messes up, it won't affect your grade. We're going to do a stage play about the Middle Age. You know, kings, knights, princesses, and all that stuff. In movies, you see people from the Middle Age talking really formally, and that's one of the characteristics of the passive voice. We'll be taking the next 2 weeks working on this, alright? And so,
Teacher Scrooge and his students started working on the project. Everyone had so much fun, and when the time for the presentation came, which will be seen by all the students' parents, almost everyone was able to demonstrate how well they could use the contents taught through the unit. Almost everyone passed this time instead of the other way around. It seems this new form of alternative assessment was a fruitful for everyone.
Well, hello there. I'm Alejandro. I'm the author of this video, and I hope you enjoyed it. Even if the quality wasn't the best, this is the best that I could do in the time that I had. I just want to clear up some of the themes that I explored during this little skit. This little, yeah, skit. I think it's the best. Is the best way to put it. I'm sorry. The alternative assessment is something that can be really useful, and in this case, I explore the possibility of using alternative assessment with children. Traditional assessment is really never gonna disappear, especially when we're talking more in professional environments, like for grown-ups and everything. But when given the situation, I do believe that alternative assessment can be really a very useful tool to keep students' attention, and not only that, but to actually make them produce language. I've learned that during this semester, and I hope that this has somewhat transmitted that message to you. I'm Alejandro from the seventh semester in the BA in ELT, and that's it. Bye.